man walked into his house at 2:14 a.m., but his wife swears he already came home an hour earlier. Same coat, same limp in his step. But when he opened the front door, she realized something was wrong. The first time he came home, he kissed her on the cheek. The second time, he didn't say a word. Just stood there. Wet shoes, blank stare. When she asked where he'd been, he finally spoke. "What do you mean?" "I just got home from work." But his clothes were bone dry. She checked the hallway camera the next day. There were 2 entries, 2 identical figures. Both him. So the question is, who or what came home first? This is Erin Patterson, the woman at the center of one of Australia's most disturbing murder investigations in years. In July 2023, she invited her former in-laws over for a home-cooked meal, beef Wellington. Within days, 3 of them were dead. 1 survived. Barely. Police believe the meal contained death cap mushrooms, one of the most poisonous fungi on Earth. Just half a cap can shut down your liver. Erin says it was all a mistake, that she used dried mushrooms from an Asian grocer. But she didn't eat the meal herself. 3 of her guests died, including her ex-husband's parents. A 4th, her ex-brother-in-law, spent weeks fighting for his life. But Erin walked away untouched. Police raided her home, seized her laptop, took a food dehydrator from the local tip. But still, no charges have been laid. Was it an accident or the perfect murder? This is the case of Erin Patterson, the mushroom lady. And Australia still doesn't have an answer. We bought a baby monitor when my son was born. Nothing fancy, just one with audio. He was 6 months old, slept through the night like a champ. But around 2:30 a.m., I heard something through the monitor. It was faint. At first I thought it was static, but then it said his name, clear as day. A low whisper. "Luca." I froze. Checked the monitor. Nothing. Just him, breathing softly in the crib. I went into his room. He was asleep. No one else was there. I told myself it was a glitch, maybe a crossed signal. But the next night, it happened again. Same time. Same whisper. Same voice. We stopped using that monitor after I unplugged it, and it kept working. No batteries. No power. Just on. It whispered one last thing before we threw it away. "Not yet. We still check on him every night, even though he's almost 4 now." I don't know what that voice was, but I don't think it was done. It was supposed to be a solo hike, nothing extreme, just a weekend trail in the national park. He texted his location at 3:17 p.m., said the view was amazing. That was the last time anyone heard from him. Rescuers found nothing for 6 days. No gear, no footprints. Just one thing. His phone. Face down in the dirt. Still on. Still unlocked. We went through his photos. One of them had been taken hours after he stopped responding. It was dark. Blurry. But there was something in the background. Something just outside the light. Pale. Watching. They said it was probably an animal, but the shape looked human. And it had eyes. They never found him. Not a shoe. Not a thread of clothing. Nothing. Just that photo. On a phone that kept unlocking itself every night at 3:17. Same minute he went missing. No one knows what he saw out there. But whatever it was, it saw him first. I ordered an Uber after a late shift. I was exhausted. Just wanted to get home. A black Camry pulled up. No profile photo, but the plates matched. I got in. That was my first mistake. The driver didn't say a word. He didn't start the GPS, just started driving. Not toward my house. Not even close. I asked where we were going. He said one word. Shortcut. But nothing looked familiar. No streetlights, no houses. Just bushland. Then, I noticed something. The child locks were on. My window button didn't work. Neither did the door. I texted, "Call me now," to my sister. She did. I answered like everything was normal, and I said exactly where I was, out loud. He heard me. Didn't even flinch. A minute later, he pulled into a service station. Told me I could get out to grab something. I did. Fast. And as soon as I shut the door, he drove off. The trip disappeared from my Uber history. And the plate? It wasn't registered to any driver. When I reported it, police told me something else. 2 weeks earlier, another girl filed the same report. Same description. Same car. She never made it home. Follow for more stories that feel too real to be fiction. It was second period when the announcement came on. This is a lockdown. Teachers, follow procedure. We thought it was just another drill, until our teacher locked the door and shoved a filing cabinet in front of it. Her hands were shaking. We crouched behind desks and backpacks, lights off. No one spoke. Then we heard it. Heavy footsteps, down the hall, slow, controlled. They stopped right outside our door. We heard the handle jiggle. Then, nothing. He moved on. And about 10 seconds later, gunshot. From another room down the hall, then screaming. Someone yelled for help. We stayed frozen. No one moved. No one even cried. We just listened. To every step, every sound, every breath. 15 minutes later, police cleared the building. He was already gone. They never caught him. But he found someone. Just not us. It wasn't a drill. And it never felt like one again. I stopped at a petrol station late at night. The place was deserted. Except for one woman. She seemed nervous. She approached me quietly and said, "Please, can you wait with me? Just until my ride gets here?" I agreed. She kept glancing behind her. Then she whispered, "He's watching me." I looked around. I didn't see anyone. Minutes later, headlights pulled in. She grabbed my wrist tightly and said, "Whatever happens, remember his face." A man got out. Normal looking. Smiled politely. "Thanks for keeping her company," he said. She got into his car silently. But as they drove away, she stared at me from the window, eyes wide in fear. 2 days later, I saw her photo online. Missing. Last seen leaving a petrol station. The description matched the man I saw. I called the police. They said I was the 4th person to call. They never found her. Or him. At 2 a.m., I heard a woman screaming in the empty apartment next door. I banged on the door. Silence. The landlord swore no one lived there. Next night, same time, same scream. I called 911. Cops searched. Unit was gutted. No furniture. Fresh padlock on a bedroom door. They left. I stayed, listening. Padlock rattled. Then a voice whispered through the wall, "Help me." I slid my phone under the drywall gap. Camera flash showed a mattress, chains, and fresh claw marks. I ran to the landlord's place. Found a ring of keys. One missing. His window overlooked that room. Police came back. Landlord gone. Bedroom emptied in minutes. I moved out the next day. Listing went up last week. Cozy studio. Recently renovated. In the photo, curtain half open, and a hand gripping it from inside. Guards shook the beds. 3 heads rolled off. The prisoners were gone. Dummy heads made of soap and hair stared up. Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers spent 6 months digging vent holes with stolen spoons. They widened the shafts, vanished into service tunnels, then climbed 50 feet of plumbing to the roof. Outside, they built a raft from 50 raincoats, 130 hand-sewn seams. At 1 a.m., they pushed into the black water. San Francisco Bay. 55 degrees, shark territory. Morning head count. Missing. FBI found footprints and oars, but never a body. 2013. The Anglin family receives a photo. 2 men on a Brazilian farm. FBI can't prove it's them. The file is still open. Escape status. Unknown. Presumed alive. Follow for more true stories that refuse to close.